A warrior spirit is where you will realize that you do have a real good, positive, adequate, realistic image of yourself to be like a warrior and a good hunter to survive in this world that we're living. That was one example. And to be humble and to be spiritually connected with what is sacredness of life. It's not where you could learn it from outside or from books or material. You were born with that warrior spirit and that healing. Healing is already inside you. You're like your own medicine person, how to administer medicine and how to deal with your situation. If you already have some type of problem within your life, you're like your own holistic healer. I believe that today in our generation, the society that we're in, we have tremendously adjusted to concrete learning. Some of our native people, they've sort of neglected their spiritual development that helped them to understand their conceptual, perceptual, spiritual part of their mind. Eventually, no matter what kind of Indian we might be, use the word Indian people, but native of this continent, we have to reconnect ourselves to our holistic, spiritual, conscious and subconscious mind, to reconnect ourselves with our personal self in terms of who we are, and to really reassess and re-look at ourselves, re-look into our minds and hearts and our spirit and soul in terms of where we came from, why we are here today, and the direction we're going, in order to understand our identification and our purpose in this world. And also, we need to reconnect ourselves to the meaning of how to protect ourselves from negative solutions and issues. So basically, simply, what I'm trying to say is to utilize holistic healing to reconnect our personal self, to understand who we really are, to re-look into our thoughts and our feeling. Because we were told through our holistic healing that we are the product and the seed of our thoughts and feelings and thinking and mind, in our spirit and soul. So we have to look into these concepts in order to understand ourselves.
I think what we need in the community is to be able to have strong people with very solid ideals that's very community driven, to be able to come in and follow through with intervention programs, not only looking and just having a program that actually is being implemented, but actually including individuals from the community be part of that. Not only the discussion, not only about the intervention and implementation, but also in the evaluation. So we need people to come in. We just don't need people basically coming in and just saying this is what we're going to do. We need to teach them how to fish. We need to make choices about nation building. I think that's something that's needed out there. And I think one thing that's really good about this particular conference is a lot of the individuals that you all are inviting are those people that are doing it all over the nation.
Hello, I'm Jeremy Fields. I'm proud to be a part of the movement.
How do we find balance to bring in a contemporary culture that we can move forward with an identity that's going to strengthen our tribe, our sovereignty, our self-determination for our future generations? We need to explore from the knowledge base that actually we need to validate, and those are the elders. Instead of empirical evidence, let's go back to the knowledge base, because we're losing our elders and those traditionalists. So we need to bring both contemporary, modern healers with our traditional healers and knowledge base. So
For my part, I come from a line of medicine men people as a Dene, and my mother's teachings came from her great-grandfather. She was adopted by him, and he was a ceremonial person. And he used to talk about how one day there would be a time when our people forgot who they were, who they are, and where they were coming from, and that the language that was supposed to be carried on would no longer be here. And he said the only way that that will continue on is to carry on our tradition, and also to learn our native tongue, and to also teach the teachings of the stories, the creation stories brought down from generation to generation onto the children and our grandchildren that will be coming forth in this lifetime. This is the reason why I believe that this Indigenous Psychology Conference is a really good way to get our own people, no matter what tribe, involved, and that this is the only way to restore everything that we are personally, and basically prepare for the future for our people and the nation that we represent.
And we have to help people build that cultural bridge for themselves psychologically, from here to here. That's our cultural bridge. To make this journey is the hardest, from here to here. That's the hardest journey you make. But when you make that journey, it's a feeling that is very hard to talk about. It's a feeling that your spirit's been given back to you. Here's the energy and the spirit that belongs to you. When that happened, man, it feels so good. Your journey is now in place, you know who you are. And now the teaching has to begin. So spirits have a certain way and a special way of working with us and helping us. And we have to be cognizant. We have to be open to that. And we're not. Long ago, our people were very cognizant. They see what's going on for directions. Today, we're narrow-minded. We have to get away from that. Our peripheral has to be wider for knowledge. And we can't say, well, I'm this old, so I can't go to school. No. Age has nothing to do with education. Education is forever. Even if you dropped out, come back, go to school. You know. Same as for people who are addicted and had a relapse. They're not bad. Stand them up. I'll help you in the journey. Hold their hands and walk with them till they're on their own again. Too many times when people have relapses, we throw them away. They're no good anymore because they can't do it. But with our compassion and respect, we help them, continue helping them. Then they will continue going. Every Native youth, young Native man or woman, have the ability and the right to get educated. But sometimes they don't have the guidance, and nobody listens. So we have to listen to them and help them along. It doesn't matter what tribe they come from or who they are. They want help, we got to be there for them. See?
I think the information's not changed. I think the message hasn't changed because I think wisdom and knowledge was always there, and you can't really improve wisdom and knowledge. It's, I think the word is getting out, and I think there's a slow progression with more and more people, and I'm getting excited about that because I think 300, 400 people should be here, because I think it's so needed in our communities. But I also think that it's an indicator that we need to validate this kind of information, the indigenous psychology more. And I don't know how to do that. I think that's probably what your family is struggling with, is to try to figure out how do you validate this in academia, in psychology and clinical practice, but it's much needed. But I think the wisdom, the knowledge is here. It's just always been. I don't know if that makes sense. I've seen it here. And I think we're so fortunate that your family is willing to share this information and to be the leaders, the messengers, and hopefully that the rest of us can just pick up and carry it on, back to our communities and maybe start a movement there as well.
Very honored, privileged to be part of this gathering here. I've seen this Indigenous Psychology Conference grow in size and stature, and it provides a lot of opportunities for young professionals, Native Americans, to come together and share information and spend this time together. And I think it's important for our people that are out there as service providers, direct service providers, and the spiritual aspect of this conference is what makes it unique and I'm proud to be part of this gathering here. And I want to thank the organizers, Dr. Calvin White and his associates, for putting on such an important conference.
Thank you again, all of you good, kind relatives. Thank you for being here for the last few days that we've been gathered here. We're going to conclude the Warrior Spirit Indigenous Psychology Conference. We started out with the prayer the other morning. Well, we really started out last summer, but I guess really about 2 years ago when we ended at the 06 conference. We ended it with a prayer, and we said we're going to see all of you in 08. And that's this time right now. So thank you all. We've been thanking you all the time that you've been here. And that comes from our heart, our soul, and our spirit. So we have a good, kind thought and a good feeling for each one of you that have gathered here in this 2-day conference that we had, this 2-day ceremony. So right now, we're going to close this ceremony. Thank you for staying around and being here and being a part of this good gathering. We have this spiritual paraphernalia that's been here with us throughout the time that we were gathered here. It's been present, acknowledging what we say, going along with what we're doing, and acknowledging all that. If it wasn't for that, we would probably not have been here today as Indigenous people. That's what Indigenous psychology is about. So thank you for that, all my good relatives. So I'm going to end our conference here with these good words. Have a good day and God bless you. Aho.
Yeah, hey ho,